Okay, this series of videos I want to basically give people my point of view on how to break the box per se. The system that I was talking about in my first two videos, I explained exactly what it is and I explained how it started. What you have to understand is that anything conceptual, there's always an opposite to it. Love, hate, pain, pleasure, good, bad. Conceptual is not something you can touch. It's like an ideal, like bravery. Can't touch that. You just have to be that person or try to have that kind of standard. But something material you can touch. You can break it. You can step around it. You can go over it. The thing about the American system, it's not just built off racism. There are laws in place, and these laws are designed to keep people in a certain position. Laws can be changed. If laws are written to hold people back, then laws can also be written to allow people to move forward. But you have to be able to visualize the change that you want. If you can't visualize the change that you want, then what you're stuck with is simply waiting for it to happen. You don't want that. This is why it's very important to change your point of view of things. This way, you can conceptualize what you want. You can see it clearly inside your mind. And whatever you see inside your mind, if you give it sufficient will and there's enough time, you can do it. You can do anything. It's been proven, it's been tested, and it continues to happen right in front of your face. You just have to change your point of view. Let's get into this. So, free will, the ability to choose, think, and act voluntarily. You know, for many philosophers, to believe in free will is to believe that human beings can be the authors of their own actions, and to reject the idea that human actions are determined by external conditions or fate. Here's another definition of free will: the power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate. The ability to act at one's own discretion. You know, when you ask most people what they think free will is, they will say that it's the ability to do whatever you want to do without constraint. Real simple shit. But here's the thing, there's a growing number of people who feel that there is actually no free will at all, especially not in the classical sense. For instance, how do you know that your own actions were not influenced by the teachings of your parents? I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that how you're raised has a ton to do with how you think. For instance, how do you know that hurting other people is wrong? Most likely you were told numerous times, conditioning, to the point where you feel that it's wrong to hurt other people. Where's the free will in that? You were told numerous times and you obeyed at some point. Here's another instance. Notice the street signs, the directional arrows. They're pretty much telling you the right way to go because going the wrong way is dangerous. Since you don't want to die, you follow the signs. But that's not free will. You're being told what's best for you, for your own survival. You follow the directions because you want to live. But still, rules, laws for your own good that you probably had better follow. Now, maybe you might be thinking, nah, fuck that. I choose to do good and bad. I choose to risk my life. All of that's free will, right? Nope. Neuroscience. That's the study of the structure and function of the nervous system. Now, according to neuroscience, the brain is a physical system like any other and suggests that we no more will it to operate in a particular way than we will our heart to beat. It's all automatic. As a matter of fact, as far as neuroscience is concerned, our behavior is nothing more than a bunch of neurons firing, causing other neurons to fire, which in turn causes our thoughts and deeds. These neurons are like a chain, and they never break. And that chain stretches all the way back to our birth, and maybe even before that. So what they're basically saying is, we are, as human beings, predictable. If you're predictable, then you have no real free will. As a matter of fact, according to science, if we could understand any individual's brain architecture and chemistry well enough, we could, in theory, predict that individual's response to a given stimulus with 100% accuracy. So in layman's terms, if we could just figure out the chemistry of a person's brain, we would know exactly what they're going to do, even before they do it. Where's the free will in that? So you see, science is saying that there is no free will at all. That's some scary shit, because basically it means that everything you do is already predetermined. On a deeper level, it pretty much takes a lot of joy out of life. The mystery, the happenstance. Science even calls love just chemistry. There's no magic, just two people who like how each other thinks and feels and smells, etc. This is where we're going to differ. See, as much as I dig science, I also know one thing about science that it can't deny. Science is not the end all or be all. The difference between truth and fact is that truth never changes. But scientific fact can change. Guess why? Because we still do not know about everything that we put in our science books. For instance, it's 2019 and scientists still don't know what caused the Big Bang. You know, a better question is, what was actually out there before the Big Bang? That's the shit I like to beat my head about. I mean, if you're talking about our entire universe that didn't exist until a Big Bang, then what the hell existed before that shit? There's plenty of things that science doesn't know. Science still doesn't know why time goes forward. As a matter of fact, science still cannot understand why the universe seems to be ordered instead of chaos. This is actually something that I went into on my own blog years ago. And something else that I found rather odd, that a lot of smart people couldn't understand. Apparently, mathematics seem to work when it comes to the cosmos. There are equations that we can use in order to find distance and size of planets. You know, I mean, just as a sidebar, if you kept your ears to the street, you had a few people out there that had books on supreme mathematics. They knew that shit long time ago. Or even the nations of gods and earth. Those brothers knew already about the mathematics. So you basically have a whole bunch of people who went to college just to figure out something that the brothers on the street already figured out. You don't have to go to college in order to seek a higher education. But I digress. The thing is this, if you know the universe is ordered instead of chaos, then order means that things are in a place. So as long as things are in their place, and as long as they don't move, then you can measure the distance between an object and another. Use any mathematical equation that you want, as long as it works. As I said earlier, I don't know why that's actually so trippy for scientists, because it's common damn sense. You know, as a matter of fact, these knuckleheads are just starting to figure out that our galaxy, here's a picture of it, the Milky Way, where we live, our entire galaxy has a black hole in the middle of it. All you had to do was look at our galaxy and you'll see that it goes in a swirling motion. Look at it. Doesn't that look like something going down a drain? A spiral formation. So of course there's a black hole in the middle of the galaxy we live in. Keep in mind that all these things that you see in this picture, this galaxy that we live in, these are all stars and planets. These are entire celestial bodies. And yet when you take a faraway view, they're all going that same direction. That same circular motion. In the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, there is a super black hole. Yeah, there's levels to this shit. You can look it up if you want. The point is, one day this entire galaxy is out of here. That's the thing I love about nature. There's an order to the universe. It's right there. All you gotta do is look at it. Even the Bible says there's a time to reap and a time to sow. Know what that means? Even the Creator himself or herself respected time. Shit's gotta start, shit's gotta end. So my point is, there's a lot of mysteries that science still doesn't know. There's a ton of them, and we need to put that in the proper perspective. Science is great, but science is just a half of things. Hell, it might even be a quarter of things. And I'm serious. This whole video is about changing your point of view of things that's been so obvious that you've probably just been too blind to see it. Our ancestors have been here for around 6 million years. The modern form of humans only evolved about 200,000 years ago. Civilization as we know it is only about 6,000 years old. Now, when I say civilization as we know it, I'm talking about the first civilizations, communities. I believe it was Mesopotamia. That was the earliest incarnation of civilization. But the bottom line is, civilization is only about 6,000 years old. And industrialization, when we started building stuff for profit and all that other jazz, that started in about the 1800s. Here's the numbers. 6 million years, 200,000 years, 6,000 years. The universe is about 13 billion years old. The thing that makes up our entire existence was here for billions of years before us. And we've only spent about 6,000 years studying the shit. We are infants. We're just scratching the surface of the science of life of which we are a part of. The universe will always be one step ahead of us. universe. It's our older sibling or even our daddy. We will never have all of the knowledge of the cosmos. Remember I said the difference between fact versus truth? What I just said right there is truth. The knowledge of the universe versus the knowledge of mankind. It's a race we will never win. The head start is too damn large. So understand that science is not set in stone. What is fact today means a lot, but it's not everything. Don't dismiss science because we built this society and technology off of it. The world of science is open still. It is wide open, not just to scientists, but to you and I.